Hello YouTube, this is Dragonclaw here, the Grass Fire Gym Leader over at our Pokemon League DS, and this is me coming out of video retirement, essentially, due to complications with my camera and general busyness. It seems like I never have time to do these anymore, and so now I'm finally going to bring you guys back, and I have a bit of a pretty major update. This is, in case you guys are just now noticing, this is a completely new team by me, and it is now in doubles format. So it's a pretty awesome setup we got going on. I'm really happy with the way this team works and just the dynamic. And so let's just go ahead and jump right into this, shall we? Alright, so I start out with these two guys. They're pretty much the only leads you're going to find on this team, and you'll see why in a minute. He starts out with his Tyranitar. He's got a Sandstorm going on. We've battled a little bit before, so he kind of knows what's going on. I go ahead and go for the Pledge combo, and what ends up happening though is because he knew what was happening, he switched out, and it turns out that Flash Fire completely negates the Fire type Pledge move that I was going for. If you guys want to know more about the Pledge moves, go ahead and watch, or listen to rather, Quaid's podcast on them. He explains them a little bit better than I probably can within this video. But essentially what happens is whoever goes first has this little text that says it's waiting, and then the second person actually goes and uses the move, and they join together, and it becomes a 100 base power of whoever goes second. So that was the Fire type Pledge at 100 strength coming from Charizard. And so they ended up taking down Charizard almost, right away after those two turns. It's kind of unfortunate because I lost a full turn to the Pledge move getting absorbed. But I do set up the Brush Fire, and it works out pretty well. That's the main strategy that I usually go for here. So now I bring in my own weather effect, and we start a little bit of a weather war. I'm sensing the fire move coming from the Chandelure, and it turns out I missed my Will-O-Wisp on the Tyranitar, which would have been kind of nice, especially considering that Crunch was coming, but I have a decent amount of health ready to go. Goes ahead and activates the Citrus Berry. I'm back up to health. It turns out, through a bit of experimentation and just watching these battles, it turns out that fire types don't get affected by the Brush Fire at all, which, makes sense in retrospect, looking at it. So now I'm just going for a combo, seeing what's going on. It almost gets it with the critical hit. Yeah, that's kind of unfortunate. If the Brush Fire actually did damage to fire types, then he would definitely have been gone. But hey, that's how it works out sometimes. So now another Crunch to my defensively dropped Ninetales, and down she goes. So now it's time for me to send in my two awesomely put together partners in crime here. The Gyarados is my wild card for this one. And I end up working out with the flying type, avoiding nature power, which turns into Earthquake, doing damage to both opponents, which is pretty nice. He's got a bit of a life orb on him, and meanwhile, Gyarados here goes for a Dragon Dance. So now I got a Sawsbuck in the sun, and a Gyarados that just got a Dragon Dance boost. I'm feeling pretty good now, even though he took away a big chunk of my guys, and I just lost my Brush Fire, and he gets his weather back. So now I'm going to be fighting that Sandstorm this whole time. I go ahead and take the calculated risk, go for doing an Earthquake. It doesn't hurt Sawsbuck too much. And now I get a Moxie boost on Gyarados, so that's awesome. The Jump Kick was because it was going to be neutral against, either super effective against the Tyranitar, or pretty good effective against the Ferrothorn. However, after Life Orb, Iron Barbs, and that hurt a lot. I probably should have gone for the Earthquake, because now he's almost gone. And there's this Conkeldurr out there. He goes for a Protect, which is a pretty solid move. The Mach Punch is definitely going to be enough to take out Sawsbuck. And I was going for the Ice Fang on Gliscor, so good move on in that round. So now it's time to send in my own guy as a physical wall. And it's this nice Ferrothorn here. I went ahead and went for the Ice Fang against the Gliscor again. I wasn't expecting a switch. I figured he was actually going to try and do some form of attack, and it's unfortunate that he got a good call on that one, because now that Conkeldurr just bulked up, and this is going to be a little dangerous. Luckily, I did get the Leech Seed off. And also luckily is that right now my own Ferrothorn is the only one that's not getting damaged by this Sandstorm out there. I went ahead and went for the Waterfall on the Conkeldurr because I'm just trying to get rid of it, maybe get a flinch. It really does suck because I just got burned, so now that that Dragon Dance and the Moxie I got earlier is basically nullified now, plus I'm taking additional damage. However, I did get to do some pretty awesome damage against that Jellicent and the Conkeldurr, and I got the flinch, which is awesome. So now there's a lot of leftovers going on. I'm getting a little extra from Leech Seed. And I'm also losing a bit more because of burn. So there we go. I figured he was going to try to attack the Ferrothorn. So I took the opportunity to go and hit both of them. Even if it's not going to do crazy amounts of damage, it'll do enough to at least knock out the Jellicent. I'll get another Moxie boost, And pretty soon, this Conkeldurr here is going to go down to the Sandstorm. So that's pretty nice. And now it comes down to this. So there we go. I finally got a Ice Fang off. He goes for an Earthquake. Doesn't do too much damage to me. And he got a successful stall. Gyarados is not able to make it. However, yep, and there he goes. So that sucks a bit, because now it's basically a battle against two walls. Or, well, really they're tanks. I mean, both of us have some substantial attacking power. Only problem is both of us are healing. He's got Protect and Substitute, whereas I have Protect and Leech Seed. And I can't even break his Substitute. Now, really, here's the point where you guys are welcome to cut out if you want to, because from here on it is a decent stall war. It's just we're both healing. I can't break his sub. He can't do hardly any damage to me. I'm essentially recovering everything. And there we go. So I got my Leech Seed up. That basically seals the deal for me, because now I'm going to be able to heal everything that he could possibly do, and I can just protect. And the thing from here on out is that it will basically turn into a PP stall. And I have a full set of Thunder Wave that I didn't even use yet. So basically what we ended up doing is, after this goes back around for a bit, he ends up forfeiting the match. So if you'll notice, from right here, he's not going to be able to damage me with an Earthquake. I get the leftovers. and the lead seed. And with the protect every other turn, it's healing more than what he can do with an earthquake. So that basically tells both of us that I'll be able to out PP stall him. And so we basically just agree to quit and call it a victory for me. And there we go. So we ended up just calling it. I had a full, I think it was 32 Thunder Waves, and there was absolutely no chance that he would have been able to out PP stall me. And if it got down to using struggle, then I was definitely going to be the clear victor. So we went ahead and just called it. It kind of sucked that it came down to a stall war, and it kind of ended a little anticlimactically, I suppose. Ended up with both of us being pretty solid setup, and then it comes down to a PP stall between a Gliscor and a Ferrothorn. Truly a battle for the ages. But neither of us really wanted to sit through that. So we'll just go ahead and call it at that. It was a great match. This was really the first official one I've ever done on this gym. This is yeah, basically it was a nice setup. I've battled a couple other people before, but it wasn't really official yet, and so now I figure this is where I'm all nice and settled in. I know how the team works, and I'm able to perform pretty well. So as of right now, the team is undefeated in this doubles format, and I'll go ahead and leave it at that. So thank you guys very much for watching. Sorry the video kind of rambled on a little bit, but to be fair, I did warn you and say that if you wanted to, you could have cut out. So with that, I'm out. Thanks for all the views over the years, and hopefully over the years. That's funny. Well, I guess technically we did start last year, didn't we? Oh well. Either way, if you guys want to join our league, head over to Reddit. Otherwise, I'll see you guys later. Dragonclaw, signing off.